Phillipsburg Town Council meeting, July 24th, 2024.
Council Vice President, would you please read the Open Public Meeting Act statement?
This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of July 24th, 2024 was included in a list of meeting notices sent to the newspapers of record and posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and has remained continuously posted as required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk.
Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? The flag is to my right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Skirbo, would you please do the invocation?
Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in a spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'd like to have a moment of silence for our first elected former Mayor Gloria Decker, who was involved in a lot of civic duty. She passed away, so would you please have a moment of silence. Thank you, everyone. At this time, Susan, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Here.
Councilman Kennedy?
Here.
Councilman Skirbo?
Here.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Here.
Council President Marino?
Here. At this time, we're going to go into executive session. Councilman?
For the purposes of personnel, no action is going to be taken. When we resume, we'll be in executive for hopefully no more than 5 minutes.
Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Bills list, please.
If I may, Council President, as was noted by the public, we were not in executive session for 5 minutes. We were in executive session for 42 minutes, during which time we actually discussed 2 matters, one personnel and another contractual matter regarding Walters Park, but no action was taken.
Now we can move forward, sir.
Yes.
42 minutes. Thanks, Rebecca. Bills list, please.
Regular bills list as of July 24th, 2024, $1,893,635.11. The prepaid bill list is $322,132.04, for a grand total of $2,215,767.15.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion on the bills? Seeing none, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. On the minutes, June 26, 2024 executive session minutes. And there's a typo on the July. It's supposed to be July 10th, 2024 regular session minutes. July 10th, 2024 executive session minutes. Motion?
So moved.
Second. Any comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes to June 26th, abstain from both for July 10th.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, public discussion on agenda items only.
Joan Meyner. Excuse me, 145. I had time. I had 40 extra minutes to try to figure it out. Laugh at the jokes.
Excuse me, Joe, 1 minute. Okay, we're in executive session so long. Okay, resolution 2024-145 and resolution 2024-146. We're pulling them from the agenda tonight until the next meeting.
Wonderful. My
Hold your
question
thought.
was, I really wanted to understand what they said, and it was amazingly confusing. So I imagine you're going to solve that problem between now
Not
and next
me,
week.
the BA. Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, hearing none. Ordinances for the second reading. Ordinance 2024-16. Ordinance of the Town of Phillipsburg, County of Lawrence, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 7 entitled Background Checks, Board, Commission, or Committee Members of the Code of the Town of Phillipsburg regarding background checks, now entitled Background Checks. Need a motion in a second?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, now we open this second reading to the public. Anyone wants to come up and state your name? Okay, seeing none, roll call please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Ordinances for first reading. Ordinance 2024-17. Ordinance amending Ordinance 2024-02, establishing the salary range for certain officers and the employees of the Town of Phillipsburg. A second reading and public hearing on this will be August 14th, 2024 at 6 p.m., at which time all interested parties may speak for or against said ordinance. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion by council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yeah.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Resolutions on the consent agenda. Matters listed on this consent agenda resolutions are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion of the council and one roll call vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item to be removed for consideration. Need a
Council
motion?
President, just to be clear for the record, it's
Yes.
Resolution 2024-141 through 144.
144. I said the wrong numbers?
No, no.
Oh,
No,
the record. Okay. Any discussion on council?
Use the motion.
We need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
No discussion.
Roll call?
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes. Okay, under old business, we have the Housing Authority appointments effective this August 1st, 2024. Okay, Council Clark, any discussion under old business?
No, I'm good.
Councilman Kennedy?
No, I'm good.
Councilman Skirbo?
I'm good for today.
Council Vice President?
I've done.
Quick meeting, I have nothing. Okay, under new business, council, you've seen the new fees from the Land Use Board fee discussion. Any comments?
No.
Seeing none, move on. Okay, motion, special event permit for the Railroad Festival.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilman Clark?
Yes.
Councilman Kennedy?
Yes.
Councilman Skirbo?
Yes.
Council Vice President Wallace?
Yes.
Council President Marino?
Yes, public petitions, state your name, 3 minutes.
Ann Davis. This is the third meeting I'm going to ask the same question because I still haven't gotten an answer to it in the 4 weeks since I initially asked it. In the town code for the anti-nepotism policy, are we adhering to that when we're hiring people?
Since I don't hire the people, Matt, do you have an answer to that?
Yes.
Because there's a Facebook post that was put up by the town of Phillipsburg, which will prove otherwise. Second question, tax bills. When are we getting them? Taxes are due in 6 days and nobody's gotten a bill. So how are we supposed to come up with the money to pay the 11% tax increase you're throwing at us when we haven't gotten bills yet?
The county just struck the tax rate last week. They are being printed now, and obviously there will be a extension of the grace period.
Shouldn't that communication have gone out already to people? Because people know their taxes are due August 1st. and there's been nothing. No tax, no sewer bill, no tax bill, no nothing.
Sure,
And
but
no
no one's-
communication as to what's happening with them.
Right, no one's gonna come and try to pay their taxes without a bill.
You'd be surprised. Senior citizens are regimented and they want to do it, so that's an unfair statement to make. You know, we get a bill, we pay it, and there's no bill, and they're doing, well, 5 days now technically, and no communication as to what's happening with them.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Shaheed Barnes, 631 South Bay Street. I just have a quick question. The school year is almost here. I wanted to know, when are we going to get more crossing guards for the town of Phillipsburg? I know some areas there isn't crossing guards in Phillipsburg. The school district doesn't approve, and they said that the town approved the crossing guards. So I just want to know, when are we going to get more crossing guards for the school year?
Okay, Mr. Barnes, Captain Francesino, would you like to answer that question?
Sure. All the crossing routes, all the walking routes are covered. Crossing guards are not for bus stops. So any place there's a bus stop, the bus controls the intersection, and we do not post crossing guards on those intersections. That was done in the past. However, we have trouble staffing the 15, don't quote me on the number, 15 or 16 crossings that we have at this point. So all the crossing routes are covered where it's deemed necessary by the state.
Okay, because I know that South Main Street, I live on South Main, and the only crossing guard that I see is near Waters Park.
Yeah, because everybody's bused.
Okay.
There's not a walking route. So at some point, you could sit down, and we could look at the walking routes.
Okay.
But other than that, school bus stops are not controlled by a crossing guard.
Okay.
Okay?
That's all. Thank you.
Oh, is this part 6? Part 6.
Joe Meyner, Town Council Rent Control 6th Lecture. Is this on? The benefits of my plan are that there are no expensive overhead because there is no oversight board. There is no bait and switch. The only labor increases is the secretary of the inspection department must add a process to due process that is already required by ordinance. She must add a record of the intended rent increase to be flagged when the new lease is interned. If the conflict occurs, she must issue a misdemeanor summons like a traffic ticket and as ordered by a computer program, or in the case of a lie with the purpose of deception for personal gain as a pattern specified by computer program, she must file a felony complaint to the district attorney. One person and one program. The tenant has no rate increase protection except that he knows one full lease ahead of time what his rent will be. The landlord, being an entrepreneur, takes full risk of whatever befalls the environment. He is an entrepreneur gambling on capital gains protected by rent. It is perfect for nobody and better for everybody. Loopholes, plugs, other details, arguments, and counter arguments are available to anyone. They are public record. Attachment to the council meeting of February 14th, 2023. The body of the proposal is available to anyone. It is public record. Attachment to the council meeting of October 18th, 2019. Council and mayor have these records. Citizens who wish, give me an accurate email address and I will email you the documents. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Anyone else?
Public record copy.
Randy Piazza, here in Phillipsburg. I have just two questions pertaining to a couple subjects that were brought up just a little while ago. Number one, when it comes to the taxes, okay, and the tax bills, and they haven't come out yet, correct? Is this just for this quarter that's happening, and you plan on getting them out on time every quarter after that?
Yeah, we just have to wait until the rate is struck by the county.
Okay, I got you. So in other words, right now, if people wanted to find out what their current tax bill is, all they have to do is call City Hall?
They could do that, sure.
Okay, I just wondered. Second of all, when it comes to nepotism, I was told a long time ago that there's no law, I mean, Rich can correct me on this, there's no law when it comes to nepotism on a local level, but on a state and federal law level, there is.
Well, the town does have an anti-nepotism policy that's been codified,
Okay,
so.
okay. So that's a local policy, that's just,
That we have enacted, yes.
Okay.
And we've used that most recently with certain police hires.
okay,
Which was a recently enacted legislation to assist the police department in retaining and attracting officers without having to go through a competitive exam.
yeah,
But I don't know the specifics of,
neither do I.
the instance regarding this particular nepotism policy.
Yeah, okay, that's all I have, thanks.
Thank you.
I just have a question down here. What's all the stuff going on down at Andover School?
So, Andover School is like, many sites in Phillipsburg had prior industrial activity. So the reason that there were that Andover School was no longer being used as a school for children is because it was historic, with the state terms historic fill, which is essentially fill that was brought in from somewhere else, has low levels of contaminants. There was also, I believe, a furnace operation there at one time. So it was determined by the state that, school children could no longer be there. That's why the playground was removed, because they didn't want kids, playing in the field there. But it was okay for, adults to be there, so, use as an office building. But eventually the state was going to, I wouldn't say force, but, require that their contamination be addressed. So the school district has undertaken the remediation of the site, which involves essentially scraping, I think 1 to 2 feet of soil off of the site, removing it, disposing of it, and then bringing 1 to 2 feet of soil, clean soil, back onto the site.
So how many other schools that our kids are on or is that way?
None to my knowledge. This was identified many years ago, and that's when they moved the kids out. I don't know how long Andover Morris was.
I was on the school board 20 years ago, it was brought up then, and then Councilman Skirbo and I were on maybe 5 years ago, it was brought up again.
Yeah.
At that price at that time was like $500,000 to remediate it, now I hear it's $400,000.
Yeah.
So
It's
did
been
we
an
know this
ongoing
prior
process.
to letting our police department go there?
Doesn't affect kids.
Yeah, so essentially the issue is this, like if you're inside the building, obviously you're not contacting the soil underneath the building, there's a foundation underneath of you. If you have children on the site, there's a playground, kids are kids, right? Like they're gonna roll in the dirt, they're gonna eat the dirt, they're gonna, do all these things. So that's why, I don't think, Captain, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys don't eat the dirt or roll around in it.
Not usually.
Only on its money.
So that's,
So now we're gonna correct it now?
yes. Well, and we are not correcting it, the school district is, it's their property.
So I should bring this to the school district actually?
Yeah, you can, they're certainly gonna have more information. but
Okay.
Obviously, they've been keeping us in the loop as a courtesy.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, seeing none. Let's move on to council open time. Councilman Clark.
Yes, the only announcement I have, I'm very excited about the special event permit that was approved tonight for the Railroad Festival. As many folks know, it's going into its 3rd annual festival for this year. It's a very exciting event for Phillipsburg. So again, I just want to thank Aaron Coleman, who's been taking the lead on organizing this event each year. And I know PDA has been getting more involved with it as well. So thank you all for helping support that. And again, it's on September 14th. I encourage everyone to come out, and I've shared personally to the city of Easton to try and encourage some of their residents to also come visit the town of Phillipsburg and learn more about our history of the railroad. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm the council rep to the school board, and there was a school board meeting this past Monday. I wanted to go over a couple of the highlights. First and foremost, the Bloomsbury School Board has decided to leave the Phillipsburg School District. It doesn't involve a lot of students, and this was the decision of the Bloomsbury School Board. The Phillipsburg School Board, expressed their regrets about this decision, but that's that. It's my understanding that the Bloomsbury students who are currently in Phillipsburg High School will be allowed to finish Phillipsburg High School. Next item of business, Amy Fontana was voted as acting superintendent for the 2024-25 school year. Raphael LaForgia, the principal at the middle school, is moving to principal at the Phillipsburg Primary School. Assistant Principal Stillo at Phillipsburg High School is moving to interim principal at the middle school. And Dr. Troxel said he will actively seek to fill any vacant positions that came about as a result of these personnel moves. And Superintendent Troxel also was voted a 5-year contract beginning this year. Lastly, I had the pleasure of being a mystery reader at a couple of the playgrounds today. I read to kids at Delaware Heights and at the Housing Authority. And I know Council President Marino read the kids at the Green Street, I believe. Green Street, and Mayor Piazza read the kids at Walters Park. So it was, good to show kids that how much how reading is important in their lives, and it was great to take part in that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Kennedy. Councilman Skirbo.
Yes, first and foremost, I want to congratulate, we have 2 new police officers in town, Officer McPeak and Officer Fitzpatrick. I want to congratulate them and welcome aboard to Phillipsburg. Actually, it was history. It was the first female police officer in town, so that's something to definitely celebrate here, be proud of. So I want to congratulate them both. I also want to touch on, Mr. Barnes made up a good point about crossing guards. I know our officer gave the reason why certain areas don't have crossing guards at bus stops. I had a concern at Logan Hill in Claremont a couple years ago. The bus stops there and none of the cars seem to stop behind it. They go past it. At the time, I did send an email when I was a resident to the chief. There used to be a crossing guard there. I would say maybe to look into this year, putting another crossing guard there for safety reasons. I know the reason you gave why they don't have them at bus stops. It makes a lot of sense, but I think to err on the side of caution for the children there in that spot particularly, we either need to have an officer there or someone to cross the kids so someone is actually there stopping, make sure the cars don't come because they just don't listen. That's just one item of concern that I have there. But that's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Skirbo. Council Vice President.
I also want to congratulate the 2 new officers and thank all officers for the service that they provide. Hope you all stay safe.
Okay, I'll make mine real brief. We hear a lot of complaints that this town does not do anything for kids. Councilman Kennedy read today, the mayor read today, and I read today. I don't know how many Keith had, 4 kids, Keith, in 2 playgrounds?
Yeah.
I had 3. So how can you have the town involved, you have the library involved, you have Frith Youth Center involved, and you're only bringing a couple of kids? What is wrong with this town? You want the services, you want them, we're providing them. So if you're going to knock the council for not providing, you're wrong. They're there, they didn't show up. And I had an interesting book all about houses from about 2 centuries ago. The kids were falling asleep, and I said, how fast you want me to read? My kind of kids, P-Bird kids. Where are you from? P-Bird. Right away, I knew we were having a good time. So we spent an hour with that. The other thing, I went to the board office on Monday. Councilman Skirbo and I are former board members. We're finally going to start the addition to the field house. I'm going to say something that's my personal belief. I think Phillipsburg's too slow for me. That project was started 5 years ago. And if you can't get people to agree, you don't have to all the time agree. Look who pays for it in the end. You, the taxpayer. Because 5 years ago, that price for that field house was a lot cheaper than it is today. So I think people have to sit back. We're adults, we're not the kids that we're reading to. Sometimes it will hurt, but you have to start agreeing to move us forward. Because the ones who pay in the end are the taxpayers, right? Because I was chairman of Buildings and Grounds, and I even said that field house won't be built in 4 years, and it didn't. So now you start in August. And with that, that's all I have to say on that, other than if you could reach out to kids, these services are provided, get them out there. We're paying these counselors, I don't know what we're paying them. Even if we paid them $20, $10, doesn't matter. But 2 kids? I mean, when we were kids, man, we had something like that, we'd fill those playgrounds. You know, and they're reading, especially the book I read today. My God, I haven't read that book to a kid in 20 years. But if you want to make this town better, no matter how we feel towards each other, we have to work together. Because every time you delay, your taxes keep going up, up, and up. That field house should have been built 4 years ago. 4 years ago. So that price is up. The only thing did come down on the remediation of the handover. When I was on the board, it was $500,000. Now I hear it's under $400,000. So we did save some money. But we have to start working together as a community. And Matt, I always ask for this policy, and I'm going to make it a policy while I'm president. When we introduce new employees with the town, let's bring them before the council. We did it on school board, then they stopped it. You know, other communities do it, and I don't follow what other communities do. But it's nice to know who we're signing the paycheck for. It's nice that the public gets to meet them. So can you relay that to the mayor, that I personally will not sign a bill if we don't have a new employee here that we know who we're paying for? If that's what it's going to take to introduce them to the public? Because after all, these are the men and women. And I can say this in my one last thing. 20 years ago in council, I wanted to bring a female in. And we didn't get it. So thank God, Phillipsburg people is finally waking up. Because you're changing, and you got to change with the times. If it were up to me, I have 3 more officers that are female on. That's all I have to say. Anything else, Councilor?
No, sir.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Everybody enjoy yourself. Enjoy August 4th.